Hello and welcome. Tonight, we'll take a slow, gentle walk through a quiet neighborhood where the air carries the soft, comforting scent of tea and the evening unfolds in calm, familiar rhythms. Settle in, take a deep breath, and let yourself drift into a world where small routines, quiet streets, and gentle curiosities create a soothing, peaceful night. The evening settles into the neighborhood the same way it always does, slowly, kindly, without asking anything of anyone. Streetlights come on one by one, not in a hurry, casting soft pools of amber onto the pavement. Curtains are drawn, doors close with quiet, familiar sounds. Somewhere, a radio murmurs low enough to blend into the night. The air cools just slightly, enough to be noticed if you're paying attention. Daniel is paying attention. He moves at an easy pace along the sidewalk, hands tucked into his jacket pockets, footsteps unhurried. This is the part of the day he likes best, not because anything special happens, but because nothing does. The day has already said what it needed to say. The night is gentle enough to listen. As he walks, there's a scent that meets him, just as it always does. Warm, soft, familiar. It drifts from the same house every evening, lingering in the air like a quiet greeting. The smell of fresh tea, not strong, not sharp, just enough to notice, enough to feel. Daniel doesn't stop walking. He never does. He simply breathes in as he passes, letting the warmth settle somewhere behind his ribs. The house itself is unremarkable, modest, well kept. Its windows glow faintly, the light inside calm and steady, as if nothing inside has ever raised its voice. The scent of tea follows him for a few steps, then slowly fades, blending back into the cool night air. It leaves behind a small sense of comfort, like a habit remembered by the body more than the mind. Daniel exhales, his breath easy, his shoulders relaxed. Some things he's learned don't need to be understood right away. Some things are simply there, evening after evening, waiting quietly to be noticed again. Daniel has taken this walk almost every evening for as long as he can remember. Dinner is finished, the dishes are rinsed and left to dry, the lights in his kitchen are dimmed to a comfortable glow. And then, without much thought, he reaches for his jacket and steps outside, as naturally as breathing. The route never changes, down the same quiet street, past the same houses, around the gentle curve near the old maple tree. It isn't a walk meant for distance or exercise. It's a walk meant for noticing, for letting the day loosen its grip. Daniel likes small details, the way one porch light flickers before settling, the sound of someone closing a window 2 houses down, the steady rhythm of his own footsteps on the pavement. These are the things that feel solid to him, reliable, calm. His life is much the same: steady work, evenings that end on time, mornings that begin without rush. There's comfort in knowing what comes next, and Daniel has learned to appreciate that comfort rather than look past it. As he walks, his breathing slows without effort. His shoulders drop. The street seems to meet him halfway, quiet and unbothered. Nothing is expected of him here. He doesn't need to solve anything or decide anything. He only needs to move forward, one step after another. And as the neighborhood continues to settle around him, the evening opens gently, offering its familiar sights, its familiar sounds, and the soft patterns that return night after night. The neighborhood wears dusk well. Porch lights glow in warm, patient colors, each one switched on in its own quiet time. Some windows brighten, others soften as lamps replace overhead lights. Curtains are drawn part way, not to shut the world out, but to make the inside feel closer and calmer. As Daniel walks, he hears the small sounds of evening settling in, the faint clink of dishes being set into sinks, a radio playing low enough that the melody blurs into comfort rather than words. Somewhere nearby, a television murmurs, steady and unimportant. These are sounds he's come to expect. They don't ask for attention. They simply exist, layered gently over one another like a familiar blanket pulled up at the end of the day. A few houses down, the air shifts again. The scent of tea drifts out softly, warm and rounded, carrying with it a sense of something just finished or just begun. It isn't announced, it doesn't linger loudly. It blends into the evening the same way the lights and sounds do, as if it has always belonged there. Daniel notices it without slowing his steps, without turning his head. The house releases its quiet warmth, and the street receives it without question. The sidewalk stretches on, calm and unbroken, guiding him forward through the neighborhood's gentle rhythm as the night continues to settle in around him. There are many smells that drift through a neighborhood at night. Sometimes it's dinner lingering a little too long. Sometimes it's laundry soap carried on a cool breeze. Other times it's nothing at all but the clean, quiet scent of evening air. But this house is different. Daniel has noticed it over time without meaning to. It always smells the same, always tea, not coffee, not spices, not food cooling on a stove, just tea, gentle and warm, rising into the night as if on purpose. He's passed this house in summer and in winter, in early evenings and later ones, and still the scent remains steady, as familiar as the sound of his own steps on the pavement. It's become part of how he knows where he is, a marker in his mind. After the house with the blue shutters, before the one with the small stone bird near the door, and in between, the quiet breath of tea in the air. Daniel doesn't think much about it. He doesn't pause or wonder. The scent is simply there, like a streetlight that always works or a gate that always closes softly. As he walks on, the smell fades behind him, leaving the night just as calm as before, ready to offer the next small, familiar detail along the way. By the time Daniel reaches the end of the street, his thoughts have slowed to match his steps. He's always believed that routines have a quiet power, not the kind that pushes or demands, but the kind that steadies, the kind that reminds a person where they are and who they are without needing words. His evening walk is one of those anchors, the same path, the same pace, the same gentle closing of the day. Each step feels familiar, and that familiarity brings its own kind of rest. The scent of tea lingers in his thoughts, not as something to figure out, but as something dependable, like the way the night always cools after sunset, like the way lights soften instead of brighten. It's there because it has always been there. Daniel finds comfort in that, in knowing that some things return simply because they are meant to. Not everything needs a reason. Some things repeat so the world can feel held together, one small habit at a time. As he turns back toward home, the quiet rhythm of the evening continues around him, unbroken and unhurried, carrying him gently forward into the rest of the night. Every so often, a thought drifts through Daniel's mind as lightly as the evening air. It isn't a question, not really, more like a passing curiosity that arrives without effort and leaves the same way. He finds himself wondering, just for a moment, why it's always tea, why that particular scent returns each night, steady and unchanged. The thought doesn't hurry him. It doesn't ask to be followed. It simply rests there, like a leaf floating on still water. As he walks, he imagines nothing in particular, no faces, no stories, just the idea of a cup being filled, steam rising, warmth spreading slowly through a quiet room somewhere behind those softly lit windows. Daniel doesn't feel the need to know more. Some curiosities are gentle enough to remain untouched. They add a softness to the evening, a sense that the world holds small patterns beyond his own. The thought fades as naturally as it came, blending back into the calm rhythm of his steps and the steady hush of the night around him. There is a small memory Daniel carries, one that surfaces now and then without warning. It's from a long time ago, a different evening. The light was softer then, the air a little warmer. He remembers passing the tea-scented house and seeing someone at the front window, just a shape really, a person moving slowly inside. Their eyes met for only a moment. There was no conversation, no need for one, just a brief, almost shy wave, the kind that acknowledges another presence without asking anything in return. Daniel waved back, his hand lifting before he even thought about it, and then he continued on, the moment already fading as his steps carried him forward. He never saw the person again, or perhaps he did without realizing it. The memory remains gentle and unfinished, like many things in quiet neighborhoods. As he walks now, that small exchange feels enough, proof that lives can touch briefly, kindly, and then return to their own calm rhythms side by side in the night. There is a small memory Daniel carries, one that surfaces now and then without effort. It comes from a long time ago, an evening much like this one. The air was warm and the street felt unhurried. As he passed the tea-scented house, he noticed a light in the front window and a figure moving inside. Their eyes met, only briefly. There was no conversation, no reason for one, just a quiet moment of recognition. The person inside lifted a hand in a simple, almost uncertain wave. Daniel waved back, his hand lifting before he even thought about it, and then he continued on his way, the moment already softening as it slipped into memory. He never saw the person again, or perhaps he did without realizing it. In neighborhoods like this, people often pass each other quietly, known more by presence than by name. As he walks now, the memory returns with a sense of calm, a reminder that even the smallest acknowledgments can be enough, and that shared space, shared air, and shared evenings create their own quiet connection. As Daniel walks, a gentle understanding settles in, quiet and unannounced. The thought forms slowly, without effort. The tea isn't there to be noticed. It isn't meant to invite questions. It's simply part of someone's evening, the same way his walk is part of his own. He imagines a kettle heating on a familiar stove, a favorite cup taken from the same shelf each night, hands moving in an order they've learned by heart, the kind of movements that don't require thinking, only presence. Perhaps the tea is a moment of comfort at the end of the day, or a small way of caring for oneself when the house grows quiet. Maybe it's a habit kept for someone else, remembered gently, without sadness. Daniel doesn't need to decide which it is. The feeling is enough. The sense that behind those softly lit windows, a life is being lived with care and intention. The realization brings no urge to look closer. Instead, it brings ease, a calm acceptance that the night is full of quiet rituals, unfolding all around him, steady and unseen. With that understanding, Daniel feels no need to know more. The details don't matter. The exact reason isn't important. It's enough to sense that the tea belongs to something kind, something personal, something that causes no harm and asks nothing of anyone else. The curiosity that once brushed against his thoughts begins to soften. It loosens its shape and drifts away, like warmth leaving a cup after it's been set down. Daniel finds comfort in letting things remain simple, in allowing small mysteries to stay small. Not everything needs a name or an explanation to feel complete. As he continues along the quiet street, the night feels unchanged, calm, familiar. The houses rest in their places, holding their own routines, their own gentle habits, as the evening moves forward at its steady pace. Daniel's walk draws to a gentle close as he reaches his own front door. He pauses just long enough to notice the familiar sights of his home. The soft glow from the hallway light, the quiet hum of the refrigerator, the faint rhythm of his own breathing. He steps inside, letting the door close behind him with a soft click, carrying the night's calm in with him. The evening routines continue, steady and reassuring. A cup of tea, perhaps, or a favorite chair waiting for him. The simple motions that mark the end of the day feel comforting. The world outside continues its quiet rhythm, uninterrupted and kind. Outside, the scent of tea still drifts from the neighboring house. It lingers briefly in the cool air, then slowly blends into the night, leaving nothing but a calm memory of warmth and steadiness behind. Daniel settles into the familiar pace of his own night, each motion gentle and unhurried, letting the quiet of the evening carry him forward. As Daniel settles into the quiet of his home, he thinks, without thinking too hard, about the small routines that fill the night all around him. Lights dimmed, cups of tea prepared, doors closed softly, windows drawn just so, each gesture gentle, private, unnoticed by most, yet quietly shaping the evening. They are the unseen motions that make the world feel held together, even when no one is watching. He feels a small warmth in knowing that these quiet acts exist, that someone, somewhere nearby, is performing their own nightly ritual with care, that the street, the houses, the air itself carries this subtle kindness. In the stillness, the tea scent lingers one last time, a gentle reminder of steady lives, simple comforts, and human presence. It is enough to make the night feel warmer, safer, and more gentle, like the world itself is taking a slow, deep breath, just as Daniel does, ready to rest.